Welcome, you guys, to day 16 of this 30-day TikTok series on how to stop binge eating. How are you guys doing? Cannot believe we are on day 16 already. If you've not yet watched day 1 to day 15, go on my profile. You'll be able to watch all of the different days on how to stop binge eating. Every day I share a specific tool, hi Emily, on how to stop binge eating. So what I want to talk about for today on day 16 is the importance of adding in more joy into your life to stop binge eating. So right now, actually inside of the Root and Rewire membership, we're actually doing a 30 days to joy challenge where every single day there's people posting and sharing what brings them joy, whether it's going for a walk, it's going for a jog, being by the water, baking with their kids, or painting their nails. Like the little things that you do on a regular basis, you don't recognize can actually bring you joy if you just take a moment to pause and experience the moment. So often when you're struggling with binge eating, it's really hard to experience joy because there's so many food thoughts and, body image insecurities and, you know, there's, should I eat this? Should I not eat that? Does this have too many calories? Does this have too much sugar? Like you're so up in your head when you're struggling with binge eating that it's really hard to experience joy. And for me, when I was on my journey, I used to isolate myself a lot. I used to not want to go to the social event, so I would stay at home. There would be so many times my friends would ask me, like, Lorna, come out. Like, we want to see you. We want to hang out. And I much would rather, I used to much rather just stay at home and binge because number one, I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't want my friends to see me if I felt like I put on weight or I had a really bad binge or I was bloated. And number two, like a lot of the times my friends would go out for dinner or they would do things revolving food. And I just felt so anxious all the time around food that I didn't want to do that. But all of these things are blocking you from experiencing joy, and you need joy in your life. And if you are binging right now, food might be the only source of joy in your life. If you are binging right now, food might be your main source of happiness, your main source of joy. And it was for me for so long. I remember even, somebody was telling me like I was telling this person like I would love to go for a massage. Like I love deep tissue massages. And this person was like, well, why don't you just go get a massage? And I was like, well, like I have to work and I don't have time for a massage. And I just always felt like I didn't have time for pleasure and I didn't have time. Like I need to work, hustle, 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 go, go, go all the time. And I realized that I was blocking myself from experiencing joy, a lot of joy. And so where are you blocking yourself from experiencing joy? Maybe this is you are not wanting to be intimate with your partner because you're bloated. That's blocking your ability to experience joy and pleasure. Maybe you are staying at home and isolating yourself instead of going out for dinner with your friends. Maybe you are not going to that social event because you're so worried about the way that your body looks. You are blocking yourself from experiencing joy. How is your relationship with rest? Somebody said, how do you know if you're binging? I actually just posted on my profile the difference between overeating and binge eating. I literally just made a video on that if you want to check that out. But binging is this out of body experience. Binging is when you feel out of control. One bite turns into two, turns into three. Next thing you know, you're eating until you're physically sick. You don't have any control. That's what binge eating is. So when I was on my journey, a huge reason why I had a hard time experiencing joy was because I had a poor relationship with rest. And so even taking like 5 minutes to go outside in the sunshine, I felt guilty doing that. When I used to live with my parents, hi, Lindsay. When I used to live with my parents, my mom would say, Lorna, you need to take a break. Like get outside, like get some fresh air. But I would feel so guilty because I felt like I needed to be working. I felt like I always needed to be doing something. Like I can't just lay outside and just chill. I need to be listening to a podcast, or I need to be learning. I need to be growing. I need to be working hard. And I still do that to this day. I work hard and I still listen to podcasts and I work hard, but I also allow myself to rest. When I was in Japan, I was like, I'm going to get a massage. I allow myself to rest. Now every single day, I eat lunch outside, and I'm not working. I take time off and I feel the warmth of the sun on my skin and I enjoy my meal. That to me, that's joy. That's pleasurable to me. But when you have a poor relationship with rest and you're always go, 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 it's hard to be present. And when you're not present, how can you experience joy? How can you experience joy? And you don't have to change your whole life around to experience joy. In fact, I find joy in the small moments. Getting up early when the world is still sleeping, I'm up. I'm doing my morning routine. I'm writing in my journal. I go for a walk at like 7 a.m. Sometimes 7:30, sometimes 8 o'clock. It's always different, but I go for a walk in the morning and I just hear the birds chirping and I feel the fresh air on my body, and like no one else is up yet. And I just feel like I'm like ready to tackle on the world. That's joy for me. When you experience joy in your life, you're going to have less binges. Where are you blocking yourself from joy? And it's not, there's a difference between I got to check off the box to get in my workout and I actually really enjoy this. So something that I used to do as well too was I used to, let's say, go to a yoga class, and I would be so up in my head the entire time. I would be in a yoga class where you're supposed to relax, and I'd be mentally planning what I was going to binge on when I got home. I wasn't present in my body. I was in my head thinking about what I was going to binge on. When I would go for a walk, instead of actually enjoying the scenery and the beauty of nature, I'd be looking at my watch. Okay, how many steps did I get in? Oh, how long did I walk for? That's not joy. That's not joy. It's checking off the box. So how can you add more joy into your life? And again, it doesn't have to be these crazy, big, dramatic things, but it's allowing yourself to be present. It's allowing yourself to experience the joy in every single moment. And it's not like I have to be binge free and then I'm going to experience more joy in my life. You are going to experience a lot more joy when you're no longer binging, but that starts now. Showing up to the social event, even when you feel insecure. Allowing yourself to be intimate with your partner, even when you're bloated. It's allowing yourself to go to the yoga class without worrying about, or are people looking at my arms? Are people looking at my stomach? Like getting into your body. Allowing yourself to rest and watch TV. Like even for me, I hate TV. I feel like I lose brain cells when I watch TV. I don't know if any of you guys are the same. Hey, Taylor's on, Brooke is on. Hey, Liv. If you guys have any questions for me, you can drop them in the chat and I can answer a few. Any questions about binge eating, you can drop them in the chat. But I don't like watching TV. I feel like I'm like losing brain cells. I feel like it's not for me. I don't like TV. But now I can watch a movie with my husband without feeling guilty, like I'm wasting my time, because I love watching like comedies and like that's fun for me. And again, I can, take time, I can go outside and enjoy my lunch without beating myself up of like, oh, you're being lazy and you're like, you should be doing something else. I can go in a car ride. I can go in a car ride and actually listen to music. And I know that sounds so silly, but before it would be like, you have to listen to a podcast. Like I was so hard on myself. There's no joy in that. Taylor says, hi, is it better sleep something that, Taylor, I don't understand your question. Is better sleep something that staves off binge? Oh, okay. So basically you're saying like, is prioritizing sleep something that can help with binging? 100%. Because when you prioritize good quality sleep, you are regulating your hunger hormones. So when you don't get enough sleep, your ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, that increases. And your leptin hormone, which is your satiety hormone that signals the brain, I am full, I am satisfied, I don't need any more food, that decreases. So as a result of less sleep, you're going to be hungrier and you're going to be less satisfied. Compared to when you do get quality sleep, your ghrelin hormone, the hunger hormone that says, hey, brain, like it's time to eat, that's going to decrease. And then your leptin, which is your satiety hormone, is going to increase. So you're going to feel more satisfied. And, this happens so often. I'm sure great question, Taylor. Thanks for asking that. And I'm sure you guys recognize, like, when you haven't gotten quality sleep, like, I'm sure probably the next day, like, you're either like looking for sugary foods or you're looking for like sweets or you're just eating and you're like, I'm not like, you might be hungry, but it also might just be like, I'm just not satisfied. Like, nothing's really satisfying me. Brooke said, your lives are so interesting and informative. Amazing. Brooke, do you have a question? If you guys are on and you have a question for me, you can drop your question in the chat. Any other questions for me? We are on day 16 of how to stop binge eating. So again, you can go to my profile, episode 1 to 15. You can look on my profile and you can see all the other strategies and tips that I given, but adding in more joy into your life is so important, you guys. And I used to think like, I never thought that they were related. I never knew how important adding in more joy would stop my binge eating. And if you don't understand it, you're not going to prioritize it. I never prioritized, going to social events or getting a massage because I was like, I don't need to do those things. But as a result of doing those things, you're going to have less urges, you're going to have less binges because you're filling up your cup, you're experiencing joy. You don't need a false sense of joy through binging. Binging gives you pleasure, but it's so temporary and it's a false sense of pleasure. So because you don't actually meet that need sustainably of getting your needs met through, healthy friendships, healthy connections, then what ends up happening, hey, Dawn, then what ends up happening is you're turning to food and food is the only source of joy. But because it doesn't sustainably meet your need, it's a false sense. And this is where you keep binging. You keep going back for more and more and more because it's not sustainable. So because you didn't have any sustainable joy through connection, friendship, being intimate, all those things, it's like at the end of the day, you turn to food and you binge, boost of joy. It's not sustainable. So guess what? You need to binge again tomorrow to refill it up versus filling up your life with joy, living a joyful life. When you live a joyful life, there's no need to turn to food to binge. Taylor says, thank you for your answer. What might be some good mantras when you want to binge? Well, so I'll share, but I want to share something that's even more powerful than just a mantra, because for me, when I wanted to binge, there was nothing I could say that would stop me from binging. Like, you can't think your way out of a binge. You can't just say, you got this. All right, I got this. Like, that's not going to work, right? So I will share a few mantras, but I'm going to share what's more powerful. What's more powerful, Taylor, for when you want to binge, you need to create a state change in your body. So this means either standing up and literally shaking your body, like literally, I know it looks hilarious. Oh my God, I probably shouldn't be doing that. Shaking your body, like literally shaking your body, hopping in a cold shower or splashing cold water on your face, or using breath work. So like a quick exhale through your mouth, snapping your belly in. That is going to create a state change in your body. That's going to help you not give in to your binge urges far more effectively than like telling yourself to not binge. So definitely do that. And actually, somebody messaged me and they're like, oh my God, Lorna, I did the shaking and I so badly wanted to just grab some candy and eat in secret in my car. And I did the shaking and I'm so proud of myself because I didn't give in to the urge to binge. So these are like powerful tools, Taylor. But when it comes to mantras, you could say like, you know, I am way more powerful over my binge urges. You can say, I'm a freaking badass and I can do hard things like conquer binge eating. You can remind yourself that the short burst of discomfort that you feel not giving into your urges is worth the long-term happiness of no longer binging. So it's not really a mantra, but that really helped me like remind myself, like when I used to feel so uncomfortable with the urge, I would remind myself like I can handle the discomfort. I am safe to be with the discomfort because I experience discomfort in so many other areas of my life. Taylor, where else do you experience discomfort? Maybe in your workouts. Maybe you've had conversations, tough conversations before. Maybe when you were on the phone with like your phone company and they're like putting you on hold for like 3 hours. Like you've experienced discomfort in your life before. So I'm safe to experience discomfort. This is discomfort. This is not pain. I'm not in pain. I'm just experiencing discomfort right now and I can breathe through the discomfort. I am safe to experience discomfort. I'm a freaking badass and I can handle this discomfort. So that's what I would say. Great question, Taylor. You are amazing. Hi, Cami. Do you have a question for me? Okay, any other questions before I pop off, you guys? Also, if you click the link in my bio, there is a podcast episode that I did with one of my Root and Rewire membership clients. I helped her stop binge eating after 6 months of working together. She tried on her own for 20 years and we worked together. She's conquered binge eating after 6 months. And I shared the podcast episode because she shares exactly what she did to stop her binge eating. So if you go to the link in my bio, it's a free podcast episode that you can listen to. Her name is Nora. She's amazing. And she's one of my membership clients and she graduated. She's, binge free now. And if you guys want to listen to that to get some excitement and some hope and some actionable steps that you can take, go listen to that podcast episode right away. It is episode 538 of the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. The link is in my bio. What do you do after you just binge? Okay, well, I love this question because what I always tell my clients is I want you to do the exact opposite of what you always used to do. So after a binge, what do you normally do? You normally beat yourself up. You normally restrict the next day. You normally over-exercise. You normally, sit in the guilt and shame. And let's do the exact opposite because the guilt, the shame, self-beat up, restriction, over-exercising hasn't been working. So we have to do literally the opposite of what you've done. So instead of self-beat up, you got to give yourself grace. And I know that is so hard after a binge to actually speak kindly to yourself because you're like, oh, I know better. I shouldn't have done that. But actually speaking more kinder to yourself and saying, I don't love the fact that I binge, but I'm on this healing journey. It's going to take time for me to reprogram my brain. I'm not going to beat myself up. What lessons can I learn? And today's tomorrow's going to be a brand new day. That's going to take you far further and closer to a binge-free life than beating yourself up. Something else that you can do, what I really recommend to my clients is hopping in a shower. And I want you to imagine like all of the guilt, all of the shame, all the negative self-talk. I want you to imagine like that's just washing away, like the water is washing away all the guilt, all the shame, all the embarrassment, all the guilt, like it's going down in the drain, visualizing that. There's something about like a shower where you just like feel like a brand new person. It's like cleansing all like the negativity, all the guilt, all the shame. I used to do that when I was on my journey back in 2019, and that was really powerful. And then also, it's like instead of restricting the next day, I want you to eat your normal meals. So a lot of people after they've just binged, it's like, oh my gosh, I ate so much. Like I can't have carbs today, or I have to restrict myself today, or I have to spend hours in the gym. No. You want to eat as normally as possible the next day because you don't want to be on this pendulum swing of, oh my gosh, I just ate so much and now I'm going to barely eat. That's what confuses your body. That's what confuses your hunger hormones. Your body is like, oh, what the heck is happening? You literally just made me feel so physically sick and now you're not feeding me. Okay, well, I'm so confused. I'm not even going to bother sending you hunger and fullness cues because I don't even know what's going on. That confuses your body. So you want to get to a place of homeostasis, a place of balance where you're eating your regular meals the next day. You're not under eating because that you restricting the next day is going to lead into another binge. You spending time over exercising the next day is going to lead into another binge. So the best thing that you can do after a binge is not beat yourself up. It's to continue to eat your normal meals. It's to release the guilt, release the shame, and then really asking yourself, like, what do I need right now? I think so often, again, it's always, self beat up, but what do you actually need? After a binge, what do you actually need? You don't need to be beating yourself up. You need to still fuel your body. You might still work out, right? You can still go for a walk, you can still go to the gym, but it's the intention behind it of like, I'm doing this because I want to have energy, I want to feel good, versus I'm working out the next day after a binge because I have to burn off the calories. That's not healthy. Okay, what other questions do we have? Laura, welcome, Laura. Do you have a question for me? Hey, Dana, do you guys have any questions? Or we'll stay on for the next little bit. These have been amazing questions, you guys. Hey, Miss Swan. Okay, drop your questions. Hi, Brittany. We're doing a little Q&A session now, so if you have any questions for me, you can drop your questions in the chat. How do you define success? Success to me is fulfillment and happiness. Success is not an end destination. Success to me is the journey. Like, I feel like I am living my most successful life because I am happy every single day. I am becoming a 1% better version of myself every single day. I'm on this journey. Most people think success is like the end destination, and I don't think that's true because you get to the end destination and you're like, okay, what's next? Especially if you're like me and you're a go-getter. It's like you get to the end destination and it's like, okay, well, what's next? So to me, success is happiness, it's fulfillment, it's working towards something, and it's being present in the moment while you're working towards becoming the best version of yourself. That's what I would say. Okay, hi, Jessica. Is counting calories necessary? I feel like it's triggering for me. Heck freaking no, Jessica. Scrap that. You definitely do not need to be counting your calories. In fact, I recommend all my clients to not count calories because it 100% will lead you into a binge. When you're struggling with binge eating or an unhealthy relationship with food, you're already thinking about food so much. The last thing that you need to do is count your calories or count your macros and have you thinking about food that much more. It will trigger to a binge because what happens when you're not perfectly spot on with your calories? Oh, shoot, I messed up. Might as well just binge. When I used to count my calories, man, it made me think about food so much more, but it also made me obsessive, and there would be so many days where I would have calories left over and I was like force feeding myself just to be spot on. And then there would be moments where I would be hungrier and I would finish all my calories at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would go to bed starving. Like that's not healthy whatsoever. So Jessica, ditch the calorie counting. You can trust yourself. Your body is so wise. Your body is so smart. Your body will tell you how much to eat. Your body will send you signals to eat when you're hungry, to stop when you're full, but you can't listen to it if you're continuing to rely on external factors like MyFitnessPal. Hey, Brittany, thanks for the follow. Brittany says, I wish I can eat more calories in a day. I'm underweight and can only eat X amount of calories if I'm lucky. So Brittany, is it that you just don't have an appetite? Like, are you not hungry? You're going to have to build your way up. Like if all of a sudden you're like, okay, all of a sudden you need to, consume so many calories, like that's going to be a shock to your system. So you're going to have to do this really slowly, even if it's just like adding in like an extra snack every single day. That's going to be more beneficial than trying to all of a sudden have like 3 extra meals a day. How do you trick your body not to ask for food? Well, I think one thing that you can do, it's not really about tricking your body, but it's asking your body, what do you need right now? So when your body is thinking that it needs food, you can say, okay, what are you actually hungry for? Are you hungry for comfort? Are you hungry for connection? Are you hungry for safety? Are you like, what are you actually hungry for? Because your body will always turn to food because it's the quickest boost of dopamine. Within 2 seconds, you can go into your pantry and you can get a hit of dopamine. Food makes you feel safe. It gives you comfort. It gives you all your basic needs in a false way. So to trick your body, I would say like you need to ask yourself, what are you actually hungry for? And you might actually, like I had a client that I worked with that she was a lawyer and she worked super crazy long hours and she would always find herself turning to food. And I said, ask yourself the next time, what do you really need? And she said like her body was like, I just need a nap. But then her mind was like, but you can't take a nap in the middle of the day. You should be more productive. You can't do that. And she was like, I'm going to ignore that little negative voice inside of my mind and I'm going to take a nap. She took a nap. She woke up. She didn't even feel the urge to binge. Why? Because she met her own need. What she was actually wanting was sleep. But when you don't allow yourself to do that because it's, of guilty, you feel guilty or you have a bad relationship with rest, it's like you turn to food, but then you're still tired and it's like you just continue to turn to food to give you energy, but it's not what you actually need. So that one powerful question, like what are you actually hungry for, is going to be extremely transformational. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, anything else? This was amazing. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I will be live the rest of the week at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So come join me. I'm also doing a giveaway. You guys. If you rate and review the Ditch Decade Diets podcast, and you take a screenshot and you message it over to me, I'm choosing 2 people at the end of the week to win a masterclass bundle with me. You win 3 masterclasses for free. It's how to rewire your brain, how to stop eating when you're full, and how to transition yourself out of binge eating, all for free. I'm choosing 2 people. So if you want to enter that giveaway, I've already given 4 away. You just need to rate and review the Ditch Decade Diets podcast and message me that you've done it, and I'll put your name into the giveaway. And I'm choosing 2 people on Sunday to win. All right, you guys, that was very intellectual. Thank you. You are welcome. Thanks for popping on. Thanks for the follow. All right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.